There's something really amazing about getting outside and being in just a stunning remote area and just seeing like what's out there and having that connection.
The outdoors give you a new perspective on the world. When you're at the top of a mountain or something, you realize how big the world actually is and you're just a small piece of it.
The outdoors really provides a sense of adventure, and I think for everyone who gets out there, it gives you a great perspective of the world, and it really shows you things that you've never seen before or imagined would be out there.
It's a pretty powerful experience to be able to, under your own manpower, get yourself to the top of a mountain. And the top of a mountain is usually a really beautiful place. But to me, it's not just about being at the top, getting to the top. It's about how you get there, whether that's hiking or climbing.
At the top of a trail, you feel a great sense of accomplishment of what you just did. Whether it's hiking or climbing, when you get to the top, you definitely feel relief and you get a lot of stress goes away. You just feel really relaxed.
It's just a picture in your mind that lasts, and when you're standing up there, it just gives you a feeling of some like accomplishment and that you earned that view. I'd say coming down a mountain is relaxing. It's kind of like the victory march back down.
At the top of a trail looking down, I definitely think about where I want to go. I don't want to go over rocks or any sticks to protect my skis. You definitely have to pick out a starting point. You don't have to pick the whole line, but once you're moving down the mountain, it's more impulse. Sometimes it's nice to not necessarily go down the hardest trail in the mountain. Is to relax and go down a really easy one, and you just get to see the valley below you that you wouldn't necessarily see when you're in the trees. But a nice open trail, and you get to see maybe a lake below, or you see the clouds forming. It's really, really nice and peaceful.
Winter is a great time for exploring mountains, but when you're not outside, you can be training for spring objectives.
Since I started climbing, I definitely just fell in love with it. That's kind of what I wanted to do. That's always what I wanted to do with my free time. So it just seemed like a natural progression to just keep going back to the gym or keep going outside and climbing as much as I could. So a lot of things I'll do, really the most important thing I think that I'll do to train is just to climb. And with climbing, there's a lot of technical skill involved, like it's obviously a lot of strength, but it's a lot of just movement based, so dialing in your movements and making everything really efficient. So climbing a lot is really the only way that you can train that. I think it's really important to tailor your training towards your project. If I'm working on like a really long climb, then I'll work more on endurance and less on power or like just brute strength. You know, if I'm working on a really short boulder problem, then endurance doesn't really matter. I don't need to waste time working on that. I'll work on, you know, doing 4 or 5 really, really hard moves to get to the top of the boulder or something. So yeah, I think training specifically for your project is really important. If you don't do that, then you're just spinning your wheels a lot potentially. Whatever you're doing inside translates to like higher self-confidence and just being able to go outside and and really trust that you're doing everything you can outside of what, your project, that you can really just focus on your project, and you have this sense of accomplishment to be able to do that.
As soon as the snow starts to melt and the rocks start drying off, I like to get outside and start working on some of my outdoor projects.
Nice. Get up. Good job. Nicely done. Woo!
When I'm climbing outside, I like to climb what inspires me, what looks like a really fun route. Everybody has access to the great outdoors. You just need to have the desire to go and look for it.
Many people struggle with just the fact of unplugging themselves from the world. And it's really hard to actually get out there and go explore and climb mountains.
There's nothing I enjoy more than going out into the mountains with a bunch of friends and having a good time, just loving life.
Being in the outdoors really gives you a sense of peace and comfort. When you're inside your home or you're in the city, you're always busy, you're always moving, you have to go to the next place. But when you're on the mountain, you have no time frame to follow. You can do what you want. You can go hike up, you can go off the side trail and just sit and watch the valley.
You just get to listen to your surroundings instead of being surrounded by people all the time and all the businesses and the craziness and the stress. It's a place to really take a breath and sit back from it all.
It's just that connection with nature that I think we miss a lot, but it's always great when you feel it, when you get out.